Page 648. Diseases, 25 to 30% are all depression is chronic. 15% of military do any fighting, God-initiated, Son-implemented, Spirit-empowered. Scripture, 1 Corinthians 1:19. The intelligence of the intelligent I will frustrate. Whitney Houston, don't give up on your faith. Romans 14:16. Do not allow what you consider good to be spoken of as evil. God does extraordinary things through ordinary people. Stanley 8:13, 1997. Be sensitive. Life is temporary. Live it. Take God seriously. Not a prayer is prayed in any heart that isn't heard. 11 of 2000. My note. Mirror. 1 Peter 4:6. Love covers over a multitude of sins. 1 Peter 5:8. The devil prowls around looking for those whom he may devour. Hebrews 11:6. Rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Solution to a problem. Courage to initiate it. Human malformations. McKeon, British Medical Bulletin, January 1976. 2001 top companies. Disney trades $21 in December, a 5-year low. The greatest risk is not taking one. Dentists joined the IAOMT. Mercury-free dentistry. Amalgam's not a benign material. Page 649, top companies. IAOMT membership, Atlanta, Georgia. Mastering Parenting. Brian Tracy, Maximum Achievement. Diseases which affect motor functions and emotional. MS patients' largest part of the practice. Suicide tendencies, second largest part, with fatigue. MS Society denies amalgam as an initiating factor. It's all in your head. Page 153. MS unknown in tropics, sunny climate. It offers protection. Codependent, defining the problem, helps determine the solution. Troubled marriage. Page 650. A car full of benefits. Beware of the doctor who says nothing else I can do except operate. Years of studies over mercury fillings indicate adverse health effects. Every illness known to man is linked to mercury. Deficiencies in areas mercury interferes with enzyme activity. Cadline's comment, mercury is an inactivator of enzyme system. Ringing in the ears, a manganese deficiency, chronic fatigue, result of insufficient oxygen to cells. Mercury interferes with hemoglobin to transport oxygen. Slow healing from zinc deficiency. Getting up to urinate, the result of insufficient action of the posterior pituitary hormone. Mercury interferes with production of anal activity of pituitary hormone. The fact or fantasy? Judge for yourself. Vitamin E helps with the mental symptoms of menopause. Helps sex hormones against oxidation. Vitamin C, most effective when taken with selenium. Amino acid cysteine, take with meals that contain fat or oils to induce bile flow. Vitamin E deficiency produces breakage of red blood cells membrane. Cell membranes, critical element in aging process. Vitamin E slows the road to debility and demise by preventing cell membrane damage. Muscular dystrophy can be produced in animals by feeding them a diet deficient in vitamin E. Vitamin E carries through the blood with lipoprotective. Vitamin E source in diets are vegetables and fish oils, whole grains, liver, beans, fruit, almonds, and peanuts. Dosage of 150 to 400 IUs recommended. Safe. Psychological testing. People process thought differently with amalgams than after removal. They cope better. Standardized tests needs developing. Depression and suicidal patients. Helping Hands group for teens. Page 651. Judge for yourself. Symptoms of methyl mercury poisoning, psyche and behavioral disturbances. 2. 63 persons poisoned in 1971. Iraqi epidemic symptoms. Behavioral abnormalities, nerve tissues, destructive damage, depression in 74% of patients. 1983, Gerald Pleva wrote after final dental treatment, severe anxiety, tiredness. Mercury causes birth defects by altering chromosomes. Collecting a drug that produces genetic problems. Methyl mercury 1,000 times more toxic than colchicine. Pregnancy and placenta barrier. 6 months after final amalgam removal, symptoms reappeared for a week or two. Improvements in health after removal. Silver amalgam named instead of mercury amalgams because of vision from mercury, assumed mercury bound with other metals. The facts. Mercury fillings contain 50% mercury. It's a toxin. Vapors released, vapors absorbed by the body, suppress the immune system, damages the brain, nervous system, thyroid, pituitary, adrenal glands, heart, lungs, hormones, and enzymes. Mercury handled as a hazardous material. 30 to 70 day half-life. Accumulates in the body. Adversely affects every system in the body. Mercury not accurately detected by blood and urine tests. Page 652. Uninformed consent. Mercury source 1970, copper added to amalgam. High copper, 30% of amalgams, releases 50 times more mercury than conventional amalgams. 1990s, vast majority of amalgams are copper. Mercury vapor primary way mercury gets into the body. Mercury is absorbed by mucous membranes in the mouth. Absorbed by direct inhalation into the lungs. Mercury vapor in the mouth absorbed by the stomach, intestinal tract. Mercury in the blood binds to hemoglobin found in red blood cells. Porphyrin. Mercury produces chronic fatigue. Hemoglobin impaired with mercury will produce porphyrine in urine. Is a molecule transformation in details. Normal levels under the calculated from a population implanted with mercury amalgams. Page 71. And page 653. It's all in your head. Page 56 and 57. Blood serum chemistry is glucose, cholesterol, and triglycerides. Dietary sitting causes them elevated. Mercury causes elevation in glucose blood sugar. Suppressed cholesterol. Mercury interferes with sulfur binding sites, causes glucose level to elevate. Insulin susceptible to mercury raises glucose level to be diabetes. Diabetes levels of chromium, manganese, and vitamin C important to diabetics. Cholesterol is fats in the blood. Page 56. Body converts nearly all food we eat into glucose. Glucose continuously elevated is unhealthy. Glucose in the fluid surrounding the tooth have gum disease. Glucose overloaded triggers pancreas to produce insulin to burn up excessive glucose. Homeostasis, the level of energy to maintain. Degenerative diseases elevate glucose levels. Degenerative diseases caused by bacteria. Blood chemistry, or that gradually wear a body down, blood, serum proteins, albumin, and globulin active in the immune system. White blood cells and serum proteins in the defense system. Gamma globulin shot to boost immune system. Page 57. Page 654. Magazine, amalgam, people. Picture of teeth with amalgams. Settle, the Portland Phoenix News, and features by Jennifer Lunder. The mercury in your mouth. Amalgam may be making you sick. Dentists don't care. Once you're sick, hard to find a doctor. Portland Phoenix 23, still on the internet. Article ran February 27th of 2004. February 13th, the article called Mercury is in Your Air, Water, and Food. Emailed the author on 1/27/23 at 1:20 p.m. about her article in my scrapbook. I don't believe I ever heard from her. Rosie Cronin, DAMS coordinator, patient for years. A chiropractic counted 8 fillings. Thrifts Medical Center to test urine twice. Mercury in urine tests off the charts. 1998, had amalgams removed. Walking out of the dentist office, symptoms were gone. Experts argue that amalgams are not stable or safe. Recent years, pre-2010, ADA acknowledges vapors are released. Corrosion expert Gerald Pleva analyzed a 5-year-old amalgam. Half the mercury had leached out. Inhaled mercury vapors more than allowed on the job. Robert Seibert concludes immune system you were enhanced after amalgam removal. Another connecting amalgam and mental health through the memory loss. A dentist who pulled one infected tooth happened to me also a couple years back, 2023 note, backed the ADA position of safety patient to the patient had done his own research before the amalgam removal. Dr. Z, who likened amalgams to salt and the properties being changed when adding sodium and chloride, were made harmless. Page 655. Picture of a rope and a pulley. Yachtsmen. DAMS organizations with insurgent dentists. Reviving controversy raging since 1833. Medical and craftsman dentists both filled teeth. Medical dentists were using gold. Craftsman dentists were not trained in medicine. Used amalgams due to affordability and the ease of use. Dental Society at the time passed a resolution using amalgams constituted malpractice. Controversy led to collapse of the ASDS and the ADA formed. Pass provocative challenge test. Chelating agent to push mercury into the urine. Environmental medicine, a year after chelating, still had high mercury in the urine. They decided to remove the amalgams. May of 2003. World Health Organization declared the dental decision declared mercury safe. The toxicologist concluded amalgam's largest source of mercury in adults. Dental Truth, the DAMS newsletter. Attorney Sandra Duffy reported one study published concerning amalgams. 500 studies performed after hundreds of millions spent on them. FDA track record. February 13th article, You're Being Poisoned. Portland Phoenix News. A number of countries are in the process of restricting amalgams pre-2010. 4 countries are listed. Page 656. Mercury sold in units called flasks. Flasks weigh 76 pounds. Article origin not on the pages, typed in details on the use of liquid metal properties. Quicksilver on trial. Sue takes first steps at solving problem. Does long-term pain equal gain? Life is a struggle for a single man with chronic disease compelled to be. Seafood energies. Mercury only metal liquid at room temperature. Mercury good conductor of electricity, poor conductor of heat. Mercury in nature is cinnabar, a red mineral. Cinnabar is composed of mercury sulfide. Mercury is mined in Spain or Italy. Mercury mine in Spain operating over 200 years. Mercury on trial. Hope for quick release. Graduated license. Keeping score. Favor still totes pack on back. Surgeon General's warning. Mercury. Recovered from cinnabar from heating the ore, condensing the vapors. Mercury found in Egyptian tombs dating back to 1500 BC. Mercury named from planet chemical symbol from Latin meaning liquid silver. Mercury freezes at 38.9 degrees, boils at 357 degrees. Mercury's a liquid over wide range of temperatures. Mercury used in the home and scientific laboratories. Mercury used in household products, thermometers, barometers, wall switches, fluorescent light bulbs. Mercury able to dissolve under other metals. Mercury extremely toxic element. Mercury easily absorbed in the body through the gastrointestinal tract, absorbs through the skin. Mercury is volatile. Avoid breathing in vapors even at room temperature. Page 657. Mercury spills can be absorbed with sulfur. Mercury accumulative poison, small amounts can collect in the body, like in your joints. Mercury compound used in manufacture of felt hats. Workers develop nervous system issues, loss of hair, teeth, and the quote, mad as a hatter. Mercury poisoning to insects as people, fungicide and pesticides put into soil for bugs on the crops. Columel mercury used as treatment for syphilis, discontinued. Mercury is banned in industry and agriculture. Environmental contamination of the lakes and ponds found organisms that metabolize mercury. Mercury in organisms in the lakes became methyl mercury. Fish eating these microorganisms accumulated in their body the methylmercury. Fish contaminated, the fish mercury made it to the human consumption table. Mercury concentration levels in large fish after eating smaller fish was estimated 20 or 40 to 50,000 times the concentration of the water. Major effects underway to curtail compounds of mercury into rivers and lakes. Mercury fulminate is an unstable explosive used for blasting caps. Batteries are made from mercury ore in electronic devices. Mercury flax are 76 pounds. 2023, January 28th, a flask costs $153.50. 76 pounds of mercury cost $153.50 this year. Prospects for idea was born. Miracles emerged. 10-year term life. Inspectors 9 never have to pay. Foundation begins lofty new musician. Meetings to garage needs of through. Gauge. Meetings to gauge needs of through. Travel coordinators focusing psychological profile may be the happiest birthday memories. Goals. Page 658. Picture of a Mozart, 1/15/2006. 250 years ago, I would have said, insulin, no, ask, don't tell. Scripture, Proverbs 12:23. A prudent man keeps knowledge to himself. NIEHS, National Institute for Environmental Health Science, .gov, 1/28/23 on the internet. Study on unborn children on the Indian Ocean island, February 7th, 1996. Fish is eaten 12 times a week. Hair concentration of mercury is 10 ppms. Children on the island tested for mental, physical ability ages 6 months to 5. Intra-urine mercury exposure from mothers eating fish seems to produce normal up to age 2 children. Conclusion, low level of mercury exposure from fish shows no harmful effect. Mercury amounts in fish in Indian Ocean the same amount as fish in the United States. Discrepancies in the test results may be from ethic variability or whole meat. 9 of 1998, mercury in fish. Mercury levels in fish are expressed in terms of ppm, parts per million. 1 milligram of mercury is 1 kilogram in fish. Mercury in water passing over fish gills gets absorbed. Fish feeding on organisms in the water, large fish exposed to higher levels from their prey. Methylmercury binds tightly to proteins in fish tissue and muscle. Cooking does not appreciably reduce methylmercury in fish. Fish contain trace amounts of mercury, some more than others. Industrial mercury pollution areas raise levels in fish. Mercury levels in most fish is 1.01 ppm to 0.5 ppm. FDA limit for human consumption is 1 ppm. Page 659. Shark and swordfish tuna can have ppms over 1. Other fish named range. FDA and EPA 2004 Consumer Advisory. Fish and shellfish are an important part of a healthy diet. can contribute to healthy heart and children's proper growth. Mercury is in nearly all fish. Eating fish may harm unborn baby or young child's nervous system. Risks from eating fish, shellfish, depend on amounts of fish eaten and levels of mercury in the fish. EPA advisory women who may be pregnant not to eat fish. FDA recommends do not eat large fish. Eat a 12 ounce of fish a week. Eat fish low in mercury. FDA recommends fish sold in the U.S. be lower in mercury. Picture of a Blistex package. Lip balm.